YouTube will only let me upload on my phone in 15-minute increments, and I can't figure out a way to get around it. So at the end of each of this 4-part video, I'm going to leave a link to the next video. Get yourself a sandwich and a cup of coffee. It's a long video. Well, here's that lawnmower I'm working on. I got all my parts. I'm going to take the fender off, the whole fender here. I got the seat loose. I'm fixing to take that off. I'm draining the gas out of the gas tank. And the reason I'm doing this is I got to replace the drive belt that goes from the engine to the transmission. It's really hard to get to. I may have to pull the engine and raise it up to get the belt under there and up on the pulley. I don't know yet, haven't got under there, but I doubt I'll be able to get that pulley off because it's 14 years old. Plus, this is going to give me an opportunity to look at the differential of the transmission and see if it's a transmission that I could drain and refill. If it is, I'll do that. And as soon as that drains, the gas tank drains into the gas can, I'm going to pull this fender off. And boy, is it cold in here. And I hope I don't have my heater on because I'm messing with gas. But as soon as I get the gas drained and out of here, oh, that heater's coming on. You can see my breath out here. It's probably, well, it was 27 this morning. And I know you people up in the north are probably laughing, but, you know, I can handle 102, 104 any day of the week. I don't mind heat a bit. I work out in it. So, don't laugh at me and my inability to handle cold. I moved from Connecticut when I was a kid because I so hated cold. Okay, back to work. Cub Cadets, the 1000 series, even my 1554, that one, these decks all come off pretty much the same way. There's a bolt here, and same thing on the other side of this. On the other side, same thing. Then 2 springs here and here. I'm not 100% sure the seat's got to come off, but I take it off just because it makes this lighter and easier to maneuver. And then there's one more on either side. Right there. And then you got to take the pedals off. Both these pedals come off, and they come off right here, right here. These are a number 40 Torx. Oh, and you also have to pull this handle off. And sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you got to heat it up with a heat gun, or if you don't have one, maybe a hair dryer. I've seen people come out with hot water and wrap it up with a washcloth dipped in hot water and just keep it hot. So these 2 bolts and the pedals can come off. That and then whole fender can come off. There's always that one that won't come out, and if I keep turning without adding some lube, I'm going to twist off my Torx. So I'll give it about 10 minutes to try again. Oh, I can almost turn the heat on. Jeez. All right. I'm going to go in and get a cup of coffee. By the time I finish my coffee, maybe I can get that off. Be right back. So, I did twist it off. So now I got to go to the hardware store and get me another number 40 and a 1/2 inch to 3/8 reducer, I guess you'd call it, so I can use my 1/2 inch impact wrench on this. And be right back. Like always, I came here for 2 things: this and 1 Torx socket. Well, I decided to buy the whole Monty because the set I have is Harbor Freight, and I've already twisted like 3 of them off. They're that cheap. And since I was there, I went ahead and bought some 3/8 hex keys. Oh yeah, and a 1/4 inch swivel. I don't have a 1/4 inch swivel. Can you believe it? So yeah, this is what happens. It's sort of like food with me, you know. One bite leads to 5, leads to a whole packages of chips. And that's the way it was when I smoked pot. When I smoked pot, I didn't smoke a joint. I smoked the entire bag, which is why I don't smoke pot. And when I drank, I didn't just drink a beer. I drank a case. I didn't just drink a sip of whiskey. I had the bottle. I have no self-control. Oh well, at least I don't do any of that stuff anymore. All right, I got my 1/2 inch impact. Let's see if it'll work. Yeah, all right. All right. Okay. Now I want to take this off, and then this. There's a lot of little parts to get this deck off. I mean this fender off. So when I get it off, I'm going to go ahead and replace the fuel line under there and any other replaceable parts. I'm just going to go ahead and replace. This thing is 14 years old, and I would imagine probably 2/3 of its life it's sat up. And things dry rot, and ethanol ruins hoses. So I'm going to go ahead and replace them all under there. Do this for about 10 minutes or so, if I can get that handle off. Well, this sucks. Let me look at my other lawnmower, because I don't think my other lawnmower have to do. Yeah, I guess so. I'm wrong. Yep. So there's 2 more screws I got to get out, and I'm gonna have to pull the decal off in the middle. So I've got to get my heat gun back out. I'm going to try to do it without damaging the decal. See what I mean? Pain in the neck. So if you get this off, go ahead and replace everything that's under there that you would have to remove this to access, just to save yourself the hassle down the road. So let me get my heat gun back out, see if I can get that off there. That didn't come off easy. I tore it up, pulled right off of it. And this has lost its stickiness. So I'll probably just leave it off. All right, let me see. Yeah, I completely forgot about these 2 bolts. All right, now we can take this fender off. All right, there we go. Now, here's the transmission. We'll have a good look at this, see if it's got a refill. I'm going to pull that gas tank off. And probably pull that fan off so I can get my belt over it. And then the next thing is to put the belt on. And I don't think I've got enough hose to go all the way up to the engine, so let me see what I got here. Well, I may. I'll see. I'll know in a minute. Was quick things change in the BC shop. I I sold the Poland that I fixed. I got the Poland for 10 bucks. I fixed it, and I just sold it for 50 plus this. And the guy who traded it in said it cranked up and set it down. 3 years later, it came back and it wouldn't crank. So I said, yeah, I'll give you 15 bucks for it. I was asking 65 for the old one. So here's another one I gotta put in the collection. I got that on Craigslist. That's for sale. All right, I think I really want to pressure wash this off before I do any more. Oh, and I've eliminated the seat safety switch, the reverse mowing safety switch, and I got enough hose to rerun the fuel line. So I think I'm going to do this tomorrow, get it out there and pressure wash it all off and start putting it back together. See you tomorrow. Another thing has happened since I, in the last 30 minutes. I just got a text about a month ago. I sold a older Craftsman chainsaw with a new bar and a new chain, rebuilt carb. Nice little saw. Actually, it was sort of like that Poland. You know, it's an over handle, and by that I mean the handle is over the body of the chainsaw. Nice little saw, 16-inch bar, a brand new blade, brand new chain, and I sold it to a young girl, mid-20s. I have no idea what she wanted with it, but she didn't know how to crank it or use it, and I was starting to have second thoughts about selling it to her. So anyway, I sold it to her, and like the next day she texted me that she couldn't get it running. And then, so I sent her a message saying, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll just give you your money back, and you know, probably better off buying a new one, because I didn't want the responsibility. It didn't have a chain brake on it, and it was an older style, so it didn't have a primer, so you had to choke it and pull on the cord several times to get the fuel up into the carb. So a young person wouldn't understand how the older models work. So I really was anxious to give her money back and get that saw back from her, because I had been thinking about it, and I could see a potential for problems there. So anyway, she decided to keep it. She said her dad got it running. She had flooded it out. So now it's a month later, and while I was actually doing this video, this clip here, just a half a second ago, I got another text message from her. This is the third one. And I've told her I will give her money back, but I cannot drive all the way to Arcadia this time because, you know, that's out and back. That's $10 worth of gas. So if she wants her money back, she'll have to come to Sibley, where I live, and I will gladly give her money back. And I also told her that I had a Craftsman I just got in a couple days I'll have it running. If she wants it, we can just swap out, because this one has chain brake and primer bulb, and easier to start and easier to run, although it needs fuel lines right now. Anyway, while I was talking to you, she sent another text message saying, okay, she'd look at it when she came out. Oh, I almost want to just give her money back and be done with her. She's not a pain in the ass or nothing like that, but she's not someone that should operate a chainsaw, and I don't want to be her teacher. I don't have enough time to, you know, hold somebody's hand while they learn how to operate a chainsaw. So it's probably better I just give her money back and let her buy a brand new one from a store, and she can take it back when it doesn't run. Okay, tomorrow I'm pressure washing this. It'll be warmer. It's going to be 58 in the afternoon. And it's going to take a while for my garden hoses to thaw out, because they'll be frozen overnight, and they've been frozen all day. So probably tomorrow afternoon, the garden hose will be thawed out enough for me to pressure wash this. Well, it's still early, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this transmission belt on. This is the hardest of all the belts to do, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get it out of the way. This is the PTO plug here. I'm gonna unplug this and pull the wire out from underneath, and then I gotta get under here, pull this PTO off. It's I think that's 5/8. Yeah. Take the PTO off, and then behind that is the pulley, way up yonder. Above the PTO that I gotta get to. And I'll show you when I get this PTO off what that looks like.